Okay, so today we're going to look at gaps in support services as something that you can be focusing on when implementing a community approach to mental health. Now, for a lot of people who may be in a rural area, so outside of our big cities, it may be that there's not just a gap in support services, there may literally be nothing. And often it's a quite common place to come to when looking to improve things. It doesn't have to be the first place, but it's certainly something. It's probably the most challenging one to address, um, but often one that is shared a lot across a lot of communities. Now, when we're looking at improving gaps in support services, it's really important to identify what are the things that are the issues? What are the things that are causing the troubles? So a very common one is that the need to travel. I know in the rural area that I live in, people are always hearing, oh, you can just drive to that place. You can just drive to that place, which is heard all the time. Now, one, there's a huge cost that comes with that. But two, some people, particularly the older generation, don't necessarily want to have to travel, and some people physically can't. So that's a really important thing to consider when looking at this area of improvement. Another really important thing is that besides just the fact of amount of services available to cater for the local area, it's really important to consider the different needs that arise. So while counselling is really can be groundbreaking for people, can be such a pivotal thing, sometimes it's important to address that people need different ways in. Different people have different tolerances for things. And I'll use my own example and my husband as an example. He's used to me using him regularly as an example. I am very open to counselling as a support service for mental health because I love to talk. I love to chat. And I found it quite natural. It is possibly the furthest thing from comfort that my husband could think of. Now, that's not to say he wouldn't necessarily need it, but it's that as a 50-year-old male, it's not going to be a very easy way to get him into support and into services. Now, I've seen really creative ways of services happening. I know a group called Reach Out does things for 12 to 25-year-olds where they have a peer worker model where it's text to text. I know that other groups, there was a group I saw lately in a city area that had services where people could meet up and go shoot some hoops or whatever was their social interest in order to be able to start chatting. There's different variations with online, but I could go on for ages, but you get the idea that it's about considering, is there a diverse range of support services that would meet the needs of the different people in their community? And if there isn't, why isn't there, and what can be done to help get more of that? And certainly seeing if doing a bit of an audit of the current service is a really great place to start, to see if what's being offered is getting to the people who need it and if it's actually meeting the current demand and needs of the local community. The other thing that's really important to consider is what is preventing people from accessing these services. I mentioned travel before, but really trying to get lived experience voice and finding out what is preventing people and being open to truly listening to what they say, because it might be frustrating, it might not be easy to solve, but if we're ever going to make progress, we have to be open to listening in order to be able to consider what change could happen to provide these services and make sure they're getting to the people who need them. All right, that's enough for today. There's lots more that I could talk about in this space, but I want to try and keep it as short and sharp as I can. As I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about lots of different areas that you can be focusing on within a community approach to mental health. So if you'd like to keep up to date with the videos I'm putting out, please like and subscribe either my page or my channel, and you will be first to know about my next video when it comes out, when I'm talking about some of the other key areas. But for now, that's enough. I'll see you next time.